So yeah, trying to get some mining done in our Type 8 today. We're going to try to... I have a fair bit of tritium. I've been mining offline. We have 500. That's really enough to get to the next set of mining things here. Let me see. I want to try to bring that up, actually. Let's take a look at that. Our next pristine rings destination is about 5 jumps away, which, so ideally we actually have enough to get us there, but I kind of want to do a mining episode today, so that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and let's see. Got to double check and make sure we have limpets, because that's something I always end up forgetting to do, because we all end up forgetting to do that. And then I do believe, let's see, pulse wave analyzer. We have the abrasion blaster, the displacement mine, and we're all full up on that. Okay, yeah, I think we're all set. So let's select our tritium hotspot, or at least the planet that is surrounding our tritium hotspot, and get over there and start doing some mining. Now, unfortunately, the chat dock disappeared off of my OBS because I'm using Restream now. Restream was working. It had its own little chat thingy or whatever, but for whatever reason, it disappeared now. It's gone. I'm not sure where it went. I'm quite annoyed by that fact. I really wish that it had not done that, but it is what it is. Hopefully, hopefully you guys are going to be able to chat with me, and it'll show up in my Restream chat. Those of you watching on Rumble, unfortunately, I haven't figured out how... Unfortunately, Restream doesn't support Rumble, so it's one of those things where I have to have a separate window up for you guys. I really want to just have one consolidated chat display that I can just have up and use it, but everything seems just intent on making things difficult. It is what it is. Anyways, let's get ourselves over to our tritium hotspot over here. I've gotten a fair bit of tritium out of this little hotspot here, so doing pretty good, I think, so far. I always had, there's like 3 of them here, and I like to get the one that's on the edge because it's a nice big one, and it's got a lot of area on it, so it gives me a much better chance of not accidentally coming back into the same spot that I've already mined. I don't even know if it works that way though. I wonder if I would imagine that I don't imagine that the server keeps track of individual asteroids that you've mined. I would imagine it probably respawns them every time you log in. But I don't know. I don't know how that works. Okay, this is the tritium hotspot I've been going to, because it's a nice big fat one. Allows me to have plenty of area to kind of just drop in there and see what we can grab. I've kind of adjusted my mining setup. My mining setup and my mining ships to be very task specific. So for the Type 8, I'm not doing any laser mining in it. I can only really put the 4 engineered class 1 mining lasers on it, which, you know, is fine, but at the same time, they take a really long time to do any kind of laser mining. So if I want to do any kind of laser mining, we'll be doing that in the Corvette. I have that set up with all my mining lasers on there. Why are we? Okay, not sure why that happened. I have the Corvette all set up for that. Let's get our... Sorry, I can't talk and do this at the same time. I'm trying to get my cargo scoop set up. I'm trying to get a prospector limpet out there. I'm trying to get this moving. So the Corvette will be for our laser mining. I have all my mining lasers set up on that, and then this craft will be for when I feel like doing subsurface displacement and abrasion blasting. So we've already, well, that's a methanol one. Let's see, are there any, does not appear to be any of what we're looking for here, so let's try this one over here.
Cargo scoop retracted.
All right. So I gotta toggle back and forth between using my cargo scoop and not using my cargo scoop, because the reduced speed is just like mind-numbingly slow.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Okay, and then we slow down to sub 100 meters per second. We can pop off our prospecting limpet. If you go any faster than that, you'll run into it, so you gotta be real careful about that. Let's see if we got any... I got one little tritium thing here, but that's alright. Well, let's go ahead and grab it. That's hydrogen peroxide. Another hydrogen peroxide. There we go. Tritium. Then I'm gonna wait for a 2-bar or a 1-bar, because you get more yield out of the thinner blue areas there. So I try to wait until I get to one of those. Because if we're gonna use up a subsurface, if we're gonna use up ammo on this, I want to get as much out of each of these as I can get. Let's go this way. Yeah, I really want to try to avoid doing that.
Hull integrity compromised.
Not sure why that happened. Alright. So this should be our last one, I think. Maybe not. Oh, we'll get one more out of that. So, in general, going down while you're mining is not a good idea, because then you run into your limpets and destroy them. So I'm trying to not do that. Okay, so that should take care of all of the tritium spots that we had there. Cool. Switch back over to our pulse wave analyzer and start looking for more glowy asteroids. Okay, so we'll leave it like this. And get ourselves onto this guy. And with any luck, we'll find plenty and plenty of it. So out of that, we already got 10. Out of that one asteroid, we got ourselves 10, we got 10 tons already. So subsurface mining can be very, very quick. And then if you can find surface ones, you don't even have to, well, subsurface ones are better, because you get more than just one out of it, but, you know, it is what it is. Annoying, because when you're moving, it also moves your round, because there's momentum, conservation of momentum or whatever. Alright, get back around this guy. I was mining in VR earlier today, and man, it's a completely different experience. But as much as I'd love to do that for the stream, I need a better graphics card before that's really a feasible thing to do. Where is this guy? It's around this side. Let's get around this side of the asteroid here. But I mean, just the depth perception that you get, the depth perception that you get out of it is just super, super nice. And also just like the full size of this cockpit that we're looking at right now is, it doesn't look big in 2D, but then you get it. Oh, there you go. You get in a VR and you can really see how big the cockpit is, and it's just like, geez, I didn't realize how big the ship is. It's massive. It's super, super massive compared to, you know, what you think it is in the view that we're getting right now. It's a completely different experience. So if you have the opportunity to play this game in VR, I highly, highly recommend it. It is a completely different experience. It is a completely, completely different experience. Alright. So I think, yeah, okay, this one's glowing nice and bright. Maybe that's a good sign. We'll see. Who knows?
Cargo scoop deployed.
Ourselves down to sub 100. Pop off a prospector. Alright, cross your fingers. Let's hope that there's a bunch of subsurface in here. Come on. Oh yeah, there's 4 of them. So, we'll hop up here. Try to get ourselves sort of where we can just go to the right. It can be hard to tell what direction these things are going sometimes. Aim slightly ahead. And then ideally, if you do it right, you can just keep pressing to the right and it'll keep you more or less in there. Just gotta figure out the rotation of the asteroid. Oh my god, this thing did I use it all up? I guess I used it all up. Okay, and then we'll retrograde around the asteroid here.
Collector limit expired.
Alright. Try to get myself lined up with that. It just requires a lot of focus because you gotta maintain your position around the asteroid, and then you have to watch the little bars moving across. So and then you have to maintain a reasonable distance from it so you don't hit the asteroid, but then you're also staying close enough to be able to aim well. So it's a very task-saturating thing to do. Why do my limpets keep dying? Am I destroying them with my drill? There must be an outcropping below me. Yeah, I'm not sure why my limpets just keep dying like that. Can't think of any reason why that would be. Maybe I'm just too close to the asteroid. I'm certainly not an expert at this, so, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Where's this pointed at? So, what are we up to now? Yeah, we're already up to 20, and we've been doing this for, what, 10 minutes? It's not too bad. Obviously, compared to the several hundred that some people are able to get out of this, it's not like that, but, it is what it is. If I can get myself aligned. Yeah, I'm not sure why my limpets keep dying so bad. Maybe I just need some more distance, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to the right. Yeah, I'm not sure why they keep dying. I'm burning through my limpets real fast. Okay, next one is up this way. It'd be really nice if this ends up being like right near the axis and we don't have to spin around so much. Yeah, I would really like to know why it keeps doing that. Oops, I let go of the trigger. Come on, give me. We really need our. We really need. Ooh, I failed that one. We really need the limpets to stop dying. This is not going to help us very much. We're not going to get very much out of this if our limpets keep just blinking out of existence for whatever reason. I wasn't having this problem earlier, so I'm a little confused as to why I'm all of a sudden having it now. I was mining just fine earlier, doing all of the same stuff, and I didn't have any issues with my limpets dying. They were working just fine. So I'm not sure what the deal is.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Just trying to see if we have any other cool stuff around. Looks like this rock in front of us is going to be our best bet. Oh, Okay. How about we
Flight assist off. Flight assist on.
That's not what I was trying to do.
Scoop retracted.
How about we get a little closer? We're not going to get very good yield this far away from the hotspot. I didn't realize we had. This is why I try to look at the thing when I'm doing it.
Frameshift drive charging.
I'd like to be within like 2 megameters of it.
2, 1, engage.
So we'll get a little closer. Hopefully, this will solve some of our issues, or at least it'll give us a higher chance of finding more stuff. Okay, 2 megameters. That's good. Alright, cool. So ideally, we'll be able to get a little bit more yield out of this stuff. Go for another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll dump our fuel off, and tomorrow we'll get back to doing some exploration. Get our cargo scoop out. See if there's any glowy rocks nearby.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Unfortunately, any of the glowy rocks that are here seem to be pretty far away, so we're gonna have to build up the speed a little bit. All right. Almost there.
Cargo scoop deployed. Programming limpet.
Get our limpet out, and away we go. Now I have a little process that I do while I'm trying to make all of this work. I'll with the cargo scoop open at half speed. That puts me at a pretty decent rate of speed to be able to approach what I need to approach, to be able to deploy my prospector limpet. You don't want to be going any faster than say 90-ish meters per second. So on this ship with the cargo scoop open and half throttle, that puts me right around the speed I need, the max speed I can go. So it's rotating this way. And then I do 0 throttle and just do manual thrusters, rather, because I have a bad habit of forgetting to turn my thruster off, and then I end up repeatedly running into the asteroid because I'm like, why am I running into the asteroid? Oh, your throttle's still set. Oh, you son of a! There was some kind of a graphical lag or something, and I didn't realize it was actually deploying the drill. That's great. Way to waste an opportunity there. A little too far ahead of it, I guess. It's very nice when you can get these more slowly moving ones, or ones that aren't moving at all. Alright, that'll be it for that one. Okay, so ideally we can get this guy. Alright, we're gonna get a good 5 out of this one. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna try to get that really thin one there. Alright, we were able to get that. The smaller the little line there, the more yield you're gonna get out of it. Okay, we get one more hit out of this one, and then we can get on to the next one. Okay. Okay. Focus, focus, focus.
Selector limpet expired. Programming limpet drone.
It's very difficult to try to talk and do this at the same time, so sorry. Sorry if it's a little bit boring to sit here and watch me staring at the screen, but I just, especially when I'm in the middle of doing this, it's very, very hard to, probably could have just swung around the side I was on. I was much closer to it that way than I am going this way. But generally, you want to go in the opposite direction of the spin because it's harder. It's faster. It's usually faster to do it that way, except for if you're on a slow-moving asteroid like this one. Doesn't necessarily apply. Alright, we're gonna try to get as many of these twos and ones as we can. This should be, I think this might be the last one. Alright, cool. And that takes care of all of our tritium there. We gotta wait for our collectors to grab it all up. But while we wait for that, let's go ahead and see if we can find ourselves... I think we have time for one more rock. I didn't mean to do that. Wrong thing. Is there any more tritium just sitting out here? Yeah, of course there is. Why is it not picking up my tritium? Okay, we'll just leave it. That's fine. I didn't mean to do that. Damn it! I keep losing track of which of my weapon cycles or what weapon group? Which weapon group I'm on? Keep losing track of it. Try to get to this one, this big one right here, I guess. Doesn't look like it's spinning very much, so maybe we'll get a little lucky on this. Okay, slow back down to half throttle before we get there. Then we pop down the cargo scoop. That'll drop us down below 100 meters per second. Then we can prospector this guy. It is spinning, but it's not spinning that bad. Alright, cool. Zero out the throttle. Do manual thrust now, so I don't do something stupid like slamming into the asteroid. Alright, we got 2 subsurfaces and one surface one. Nice thing about the surface ones is that I can just smash those as I run by them. I could have swore I switched over to this one before I did that, but whatever. Okay. Come on. Okay, seriously? Shoot the... Thank you. It's really annoying when I pull the trigger and nothing happens. Might be able to just sit here for this one. Nice, I didn't even really have to move for this one. Okay, that takes care of that one, and then there was one more surface one that we had over here. Oh no, there's another subsurface one. I think it's on the other side right here though. So let's get ourselves around to this side. Nice. This is gonna be a pretty decent one, I think. 'Cause ideally, I won't have to go too far down the list to get all twos and ones. So that'll help. I almost didn't get that one. I was really, really early on that one. Okay. And then there should be one more surface one. Where is that? I can't. Okay. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go up. All right. Cool. So ideally, we'll get our collector to go there. We'll go ahead and head back to the carrier, deposit our stuff, and see how much we made, because we got ourselves 82. We did this for 25 minutes and got 82. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. Let's see. Cargo scoop off.
Cargo scoop retracted. Limpid drone error. Deploy cargo hatch.
Why was there? Oh, we left the tritium. Oops. Oh well, it is what it is. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Let's go. Let's get back to the carrier. We'll dock, and we'll see how much tritium we're gonna have for the next foreseeable, for the next several jumps.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Get that there. I should have super cruised all the way there, but I couldn't see it on the screen. I wasn't really exactly sure how. I mean, I know there's a little indicator there, but when you don't know what the angle is, it just makes you a little bit nervous about possibly doing that. So it is what it is. Okay. Oops, I waited too long. Hopefully we won't overshoot. For these medium and smaller ships, a lot of times trying to do the 5-second thing too far out makes it to where you're going to overshoot, but we seem to get away with it this time, so that's good. Get our docking request in at 7.5 kilometers. And away we go. Which side are we going to be? It looks like we're going to be on this side here.
Please approach your designated landing pad in good time.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Way too fast.
Landing gear deployed.
Okay, so we can drop off our stuff. Get our tritium dropped off, and let's see what the grand total ends up being.
Welcome, Commander.
Awesome. 584. That's not too bad. Well, that'll do it today. That'll do it for Elite Dangerous for today. And make sure you like the video, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Join as a member for early access to videos, among other perks, where you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with the thanks button. Thanks for watching, and be sure to come back for the next Elite Dangerous.